Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Gatemen Pregame Show here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Alongside me, JD Raucci and Henrique DaMour, I'm Cameron Stuart. The Bourne Braves are in town for the first time this year, both teams coming off a loss. It was a real tough one for both, and for the Gatemen last night. They came from behind, but were unable to hold on, a 6-5 loss to the YD Red Sox, ending their 3-game hitting streak. And it was a lot of misses at the plate, Henrique. Only one guy with multiple hits in the game. What was going wrong for the Gatemen last night?
It was just, it's like we say, all the guys have a lot of really high ceilings, but it's been Zahid Valenzuela, who even he had a couple 0 for games, but he turned it on in a big way yesterday. 4 for 5, 3 runs driven in. He was an absolute stud. But you're not going to win a lot of ball games. One, yes, when you commit 4 errors. That cannot happen in any capacity. But it becomes a lot tougher when the offense runs through just one guy. And credit Zahid Valenzuela, put himself in really good positions. Singles, he had a double as well, but the Brian Packer, without him in the lineup, he really felt the lack of that big hit, even though Austin Shenton had a good day at the plate. Guys were putting together good at-bats. Lockhart got on base. Parks got on base. But you didn't have that big hit. And I'm not saying it was a lack of Brian Packer that made the Gatemen lose this game. Like I said, I think the errors are the most to blame. But the fact of the matter is this Gatemen offense is too good to have it just go through one guy. And it just didn't ever feel like they got into a groove.
And you mentioned it in there. It wasn't just the offense that was missing in the game last night, but a woeful day in the field for a normally very sure-handed team.
It was supposed to be, or they were, the top team in the Cape in terms of fielder percentage, in terms of lowest amount of errors on the season, and last night was completely uncharacteristic for the Gatemen fielders. 4 errors, 2 for Drew Millis behind the plate. He just really, really struggled. He had one that were on a throw down to second base that was about 30 feet wide of the bag on a steal attempt. Then he had one right in front of the plate that he probably could have even let go foul. It probably would have ended up going foul, but he tried to barehand it, pick it up, and then stopped immediately after it bounced off his hand and thought, oh, well, this one foul, so I don't have to throw down. He had to throw down, and it ended up loading the bases, and the YD Red Sox just continued to add on top of Gatemen mistakes. And not only that, but the pitching wasn't all that great either. Tyler Ahern really struggled out of the bullpen, gave up a ton of runs. Really he was the guy that set the tempo in terms of the loss. And it all came down to, in the end, a Noah Campbell RBI triple to score David Hamilton all the way from first. Hamilton's got speed, but at that time it seemed a little inconsequential. The Gatemen were still down by 2-3 runs at that point. But that ended up being the game-winning run. So it's those things when you think, oh, well, we're down. We're probably not going to come back. I'm just going to pitch however I want to pitch, and I'm just going to try to get my fastball over and get it working. And kind of when your mindset is that you're in a low leverage situation, well, eventually that situation can end up becoming high leverage, and that's what happened last night. Was the fact that it ended up being what I said again, what seemed like an inconsequential run ended up being the game-winning run that the Gatemen just couldn't get back in after getting a runner on it first in the 9th inning, and then the bats, as you said, Henrique, just couldn't deliver last night.
It was a back-and-forth game that the Gatemen came on the wrong end of yesterday in the 6-5 loss. Gatemen look to get back on track today, and our sideline reporter Mary Orders got to chat with Coach Don Sneddon on how the Gatemen will do just that.
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, this is your 2nd year in the league. Do you feel like you handled losses differently this year opposed to last year?
No. It is what it is, and I've learned that life doesn't end. But I jokingly tell my players that my wife looks better after a win, the food tastes better after a win, and I guess when I stop to lose that and don't care, then I should probably get out of coaching. But you deal with them; it's part of the thing. I've lost hundreds and hundreds of games, so it's part of it. So you have to learn how to deal with the losses, just like how you deal with the wins. And I think I've adjusted with that. I had a year in pro ball where I lost more games than I lost totally my whole career. So it was a very humbling experience. So I learned how to take it a little bit easier and not quite get so upset and let it ruin my day.
And yesterday's loss, we had 4 errors, but statistically we're the best fielding team in the league. Are you worried about those errors yesterday?
No, it just happens. Stuff happens. We got some in-between hops that we just didn't make an adjustment to, and 2 were on a catcher. One just mishandling a ball and throwing a ball away. So the infield made 2 errors, which were obviously at the same time. That's a problem. If you do it, you like it with 2 outs, but we didn't do it then. So, no, we'll be fine.
And what are we going to have to do tonight to not get back-to-back losses?
Well, we're going to have to score more runs than they do, obviously. And they're a good club. They always play tough. I mean, every year they play tough. No matter how well they're going, they seem to get up for us, and they've been a nemesis with us. So we got to get some good pitching again and some timely hitting. And see if we can send. We're going to lose Packard to Team USA, so this will be his final game with us tonight. and then we'll get him back a little bit later on. So hopefully we can get some punch out of him before he leaves tonight.
And speaking of Packard, how do you think that'll change the lineup for the next few weeks?
Well, we'll change it. I mean, he's our 4-hole hitter. He's a mature hitter. He's a team leader. He comes every day to play. So, yeah, it'll definitely affect us, just like losing Vaughn and people of that nature. He can only take so many hits. But, you know, we got some good players that are ready to step up, and we may not be quite the same team, but we'll just do things a little bit differently, get some more timely hits and maybe not quite the long ball and depend on the 3-run home run.
Coach, thanks so much. After the break, we have more from the Gatemen Pregame Show. The Sacred Cod Tavern at Chatham Bars Inn, Resort and Spa, a quintessential New England dining experience for lunch or dinner, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Welcome back into the Gatemen Pregame Show. The Bourne Braves, who sit at third in the Western Division, come in tonight to Spillane Field and play the team at the top of the West, your Wareham Gatemen. For the Braves, they do have a potent lineup, a couple of big boppers in the middle.
Yeah, Jared Triolo, Spencer Brickhouse, and Tyler Fitzgerald. Remember the names. Triolo had a fantastic game the first time these two teams met. He raked against the Gatemen in the playoffs last season. He has been an absolute Gatemen killer in his 2 years on the Cape and his 2 years out of Houston. He's a great right-handed bat. He will hurt you if you leave stuff up. If you give him something to hit, he's going to hit it, and he's going to hit it hard, and he's going to do it with runners on base. Then you turn to Spencer Brickhouse, one of the RBI leaders in the league. He has been driving in runs all season long. He's a big dude, big guy, big left-hander. He will also hit you for power. And then Tyler Fitzgerald has a top 5 average in the league. So 3 guys that are really going to be able to hurt you. Fitzgerald out of Louisville. We did not see him last time against the Gatemen. He did not get the start. Remember the second and shortstop collision? Wasn't him. He seems to be fine. He plays a little bit of middle infield for the Braves. So 3 guys you really need to watch out for: Tyler Fitzgerald, Spencer Brickhouse, and Jared Triolo. They will hurt you in the middle of the lineup.
And the bats came out to play yesterday for the Braves, taking an early lead, but it wasn't enough for them in the end.
No, they melted down against Orleans. Something that the Gatemen can relate to is melting down late innings against Orleans, but it was just a series of defensive and other errors for Bourne. They were up by 3 or 4 runs, I believe 6-2 in the 7th inning, and Bourne starter got a couple of quick outs, but then a dropped third strike followed by a hit batsman and a couple of little league throw-arounds. It was bases loaded, little dribble up the third baseline, should have ended the inning, but it was airmailed over the first baseman's head, ball rolled up the right field wall, another throw tried to get the guy at third. That missed its mark. A couple more base knocks, and all of a sudden the Orleans Firebirds had a 7-6 lead. They put up a 5 spot on them on a series of defensive miscues by Bourne. So they're trying to bounce back from a very forgettable loss to really just an okay Orleans team.
They blew it yesterday, did the Braves. They turned to one of their stoppers today, one of their best pitchers, Jared DeCesare, is going to be on the mound tonight.
And Jared DeCesare is absolutely awesome. 3 appearances for him, 2 starts. He's out of George Mason, originally a temp, but with a .61 ERA in his 3 appearances today. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere. He's signed to a full deal. He's he's the best arm in their pitching staff. He's got 16 strikeouts and 14 innings of work, has walked just 1 guy this year, and has gone 4 innings or more in every single appearance, 5 innings or more in 2 appearances. He is durable. He's got really nasty stuff. Not a powerful guy, but he's just got really well-located, really dirty stuff. So it's going to take, I think, maybe an at-bat or 2 for the Gatemen to try to figure out, okay, what mistakes can I hit? Because that's the only way that the Gatemen offense, it looks like it's going to be successful today, is sitting on mistakes, because he's been lights out so far for the Braves.
So the Braves go with one of their best starters tonight. Gatemen with one of their most potent back-of-the-rotation guys as they send Connor Lunn out tonight. Great start to the season, but he struggled his last time out.
Yeah, didn't have that great of a game, coming on in relief in that 9-1 loss to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And he was really it was already a lead for Hyannis going into his part of the outing, and then his part of the outing fell apart, and then the whole game fell apart for the Gatemen. So it's going to be interesting to see how Connor Lunn bounces back, but we've seen that good, hard fastball from him. That's really his plus pitch. That is the pitch he's going to turn to when he needs a strike. It's a good fastball. It's firm. It's thrown well. It's located well. And when he's doing that, he is nearly unhittable. We saw him through the first 2 games of the season. He had a stellar relief appearance early in the season, then a start. And this is a guy, as we mentioned a couple times, still bouncing back from being a reliever this season, a closer this season at USC. So he is still trying to get his armless, trying to stretch himself out. And it will be interesting to see what he does against, as I mentioned, a very potent Bourne offense. 3 big bats in the middle of that lineup, and the right-hander Lunn is not going to have an easy task against him. But then again, the Bourne Braves aren't going to have an easy task in Lunn. I'm excited to see what he does tonight for the Gatemen.
So the Gatemen looking to bounce back. As we said, so is Connor Lunn. He got a chance to talk to our Mary Orders before today's game.
Thanks, guys. So, Connor, you're coming off not your best outing for the Gatemen. What are you looking to do tonight to bounce back?
I'm looking to get over the past start. I know it wasn't my best outing, and it's just part of the game. I'm looking to do some new things I've been working on with Coach Lawler, and I think that I worked out those kinks, and it should be good tonight.
And what are some of those things that you've been working on?
I've been working on adding a sinker change kind of thing, and then I've also been working on my back leg and keeping my knee drive in a specific way, and yeah.
And how has it been working with Coach Lawler and his technique versus your coach from school?
So he's old school. It's really cool to see how he's just, it seems like he's been teaching the same thing for 30 years, and it seems to be working. So I really like him. He's a super nice guy and really genuine guy.
And what is your favorite pitch to throw, or what you feel like your best pitch is?
I think my fastball is my best pitch. I feel like I can control it every time, any time in the game, and when I need it most, I feel like it's there.
Okay, now time for some fun questions. You probably have a walk-up song at school.
Yeah.
What is your walk-up song?
It's like the Lion King song. It's kind of cool because I was a closer. It was like a dramatic song, I guess, so yeah.
That's a good one. Someone mentioned, I asked some of the other guys who has the best fashion on the team, and someone said you. Do you have a fashion icon?
I don't have a fashion icon. I like to say I'm my own fashion icon. No, I mean, yeah, I guess I have some cool sunglasses. I wear some pink duck shorts sometimes. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who's the funniest guy on the team?
I'd have to say Jared Horn. He's super funny. He always makes me laugh in the pen.
That's the third time someone said that.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's
the front runner, I think, for the funniest.
He's the man.
And lastly, are you a Dunkin' or a Starbucks guy?
I'm actually a Starbucks guy. This was the first time I've ever been to a Dunkin' like 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, I'd have to go Starbucks for sure.
Makes sense. West Coast, you know?
Exactly.
Connor, thank you so much. After the break, we'll have more from the Gatemen Pregame Show.
Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
Welcome back in. Thanks to Mary, as always. The Gatemen looking to bounce back after the loss last night, taking on the Bourne Braves tonight. We're about ready to wrap things up here on the pregame show, but first, need our keys to the game. JD, what have you?
I think it's going to be stopping the big three. We're not sure what combination of Brickhouse, Triolo, and Fitzgerald we'll see tonight, but either way, whoever it is, if it's one, if it's two, or if it's all three of them, you need to stop them and let the other guys in this Bourne lineup hurt you. It's kind of like in basketball when you're playing LeBron, go ahead and double him, let everybody else around him try to hurt you because it's a little bit less talent. It's a little bit less likely that they are going to hurt you. So if you are extra aggressive and extra potent against those guys in the middle of that lineup, then you will have more success against this Bourne Braves team. It's just a simple matter-of-fact kind of thing. If you shut down Brickhouse, if you shut down Triolo, and if you shut down Fitzgerald, and whatever combination they come to you, you have to have the other guys in that Bourne lineup going out there and hurting you, and that hasn't been the most consistent thing for this Bourne team. They're in the middle of the pack in terms of not only the Western Division standings, but also the league. So, it's just one of those things that if you get those guys to, go down, maybe have them only have one hit apiece, that would be a really nice night for this Wareham pitching staff. If only one hit apiece, maybe have one of them go 0 for and really limit the amount of impact they have on the game. That's what you need to see from the Gatemen tonight to win this game against a good Bourne team.
Henrique, what do the Gatemen need to do?
So I touched on it briefly, but against DeCesare, he's not a powerful pitcher, but his stuff is really nasty. 16 strikeouts in 14 innings, like I'd mentioned, only one walk. He gives you good stuff. He's going to give you something to hit, but he's mastered the art of pitching, which is making bad pitches look good. He does that to a T, so the Gatemen are going to really have to extend at-bats for two reasons. One, try to rack up the pitch count on DeCesare, get into that bullpen. They were crummy last night, and they allowed the Gatemen to get back into the game the last time these two teams played a couple weeks ago. But also, because you learn at-bat to at-bat, and because every pitch is going to look appetizing, but you got to learn, you got to be patient in the on-deck circle, perceptive, do your homework beforehand as much as you can, really be a student of the game, just at-bat to at-bat. The Gatemen have been good at this, at growing into games as well, but I think it's going to be extra important today because DeCesare is going to come out to play.
So you heard it here, contain the big three, get to that faltering Braves bullpen, and that's how the Gatemen will get back on track tonight. You can, of course, watch that game here on the YouTube channel with these two guys, Henrique DaMour, JD Raucci, and for me, Cameron Stuart. Thanks for joining us here on the Gatemen Pregame Show.